He faced tough times, lost it all, and lived on the streets. Yet, when he bravely rescued a rich man's daughter from a fire, his whole life turned around. Mark sat on the sidewalk, leaning against the building's warmth, legs stretched out. His clothes hinted at a tough journey, worn and torn. Next to him, an old plastic cup gathered the coins given by kind souls. Weariness covered Mark's face as he looked at the ground, silently asking for connection in his eyes. In the busy crowd, some walked by without noticing, while others dropped coins into his cup, unaware of the untold story of the man enduring the harsh streets. Once, Mark was a respected bricklayer, working hard to provide for his beloved family, his wife, Jane, and their little joy, Miller. His dedication knew no bounds as he worked to create a comfortable and happy life for his loved ones. Fate took an unexpected turn when duty called Mark to serve in Iraq in 2003. An explosion near Baghdad changed his life, leaving him on the ground with intense pain in his right shoulder. His comrades rushed him to safety, revealing the extent of his injuries, a fractured shoulder and a torn muscle needing urgent surgery. In a place without a well-equipped medical facility, military doctors did their best with limited resources. Despite their efforts, Mark's rehabilitation was prolonged, and he carried the scars of war. The once strong soldier found himself limited, his shoulder injury affecting his ability to do physically demanding tasks. Returning to the United States was a poignant homecoming, greeted warmly by Jane and Miller. Their love went beyond the visible wounds as they embraced him tightly, relief washing over their reunited family. As Jane asked about his well-being, concern on her face, Mark reassured her with a weary smile, acknowledging the weariness of his journey home. Miller, the embodiment of innocence and joy, took the chance to share her creation, a vibrant depiction of a home. A smiling son had a fatherly figure made of chopsticks, a testament to the unbreakable bond between a father and his adoring daughter. "Daddy, my drawing is for you. It's you coming home," Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with pride as she presented her artwork to her father. Touched by his daughter's creativity, Mark praised her. "Wow, Miller, this drawing is amazing. You are a very talented artist." Miller's face lit up with happiness, finding solace in her father's praise. Yet, as Mark looked at Jane, he sensed a subtle concern in her eyes. Understanding the hardships his absence brought to the family, he embraced his wife, expressing regret for being away. "Jane, my love, I'm sorry for being away for so long. Let's talk. I want to know how you are," he said, holding her close. Acknowledging the challenges during his absence, reassured him. "I'm fine, love. Things got a little rough after you left, but we've had a lot of support from friends, especially John, your old boss. Now that you're home, I'm glad we can be together again," she added, tears of joy glistening in her eyes. Mark basked in the warmth of being back with his family, determined to overcome challenges and keep them happy. Excitement filled him as he looked forward to resuming his work and old routine. Reality struck in the first week back as a bricklayer. His once capable body, burdened by wartime injuries, couldn't handle the job's demands. Faced with physical limitations, Mark lost his job. Desperate to provide, he sought employment in various fields, facing rejection due to his disabled status. Bills piled up, leading to a financial crisis. Frustration grew in Jane, eventually succumbing to the allure of a seemingly better life with John, Mark's former boss, leaving him behind. Returning home to an empty house marked the start of Mark's nightmare. Panic set in as hours passed with no trace of his wife and daughter. Jane's devastating call shattered his world. "Mark, I'm sorry, but it's decided. I left for a better life with John. Mia is with me. It's better for her to grow up with a rich and stable stepfather than a father who can't take care of his own family." Shocked and devastated, Mark pleaded for reconsideration, but the damage was done. His life unraveled, grappling with the wreckage of a shattered family and dreams. Mark tirelessly searched for his wife and daughter, but they had moved to another city with his former boss. Heartbroken, he faced eviction, cast onto the unforgiving streets, unable to move forward without them. Mark found himself facing the harsh reality of homelessness, seeking refuge in alleys, under bridges, and relying on the kindness of strangers. Temporary shelters and soup kitchens provided brief respite, but maintaining dignity and sanity amid isolation and abandonment proved challenging. Life without a home became a constant battle, uncertain of where he would sleep each night. Days began early, waking up in makeshift shelters or alleys. Securing a meal meant depending on others' generosity or scavenging through waste bins. Mark hit the streets, often holding a sign or volunteering for odd jobs to earn money or food. Responses vary from generosity to humiliation, a constant reminder of his vulnerable existence. Navigating life as a homeless person brought its own dangers. Criminals, other homeless individuals, and encounters with the police made him susceptible to robbery or assault. Nights brought a different set of challenges as Mark sought shelter in public places or abandoned buildings, grappling with the fear of attacks. The former bricklayer wrestled with hunger, cold, loneliness, and despair day by day. Memories of a lively home haunted him, the laughter of his family echoing through the corridors. Now he felt as if he had lost everything vital in his life, helpless and alone, with no one to turn to for help. Yet, amidst the hardships, Mark clung to hope. In the darkest moments, he dreamt of a better future where he could reunite with his family and rebuild his life. Despite overwhelming odds, he believed that as long as he drew breath, there remained a chance for a new beginning. The resilience in his spirit illuminated a path forward, a beacon guiding him through the relentless struggles of homelessness. On the affluent side of town, a wealthy businessman named Robert and his family resided in a magnificent mansion surrounded by towering palm trees. Despite his demanding business engagements, Robert was known for his kindness and philanthropy. Born into poverty, Robert's challenging upbringing had instilled in him humility and honesty. Even after amassing great wealth, he remained down to earth, always grateful for his achievements. This humble demeanor endeared him to people across social and economic spectrums, contributing to his success in business and building strong relationships. Robert, though busy with his enterprises, prioritized spending time with his 7-year-old daughter Sophia. She was his greatest joy, a sweet and curious child full of energy and imagination. The millionaire encouraged Sophia's interests, organizing trips and fun activities, instilling in her the values of humility and perseverance. Despite the idyllic life, Robert faced challenges in the cutthroat world of stock business. His enemies lurked in the shadows, and one day, he received a promising offer from a men's cosmetics company. Excitedly, he arranged a last-minute meeting, sharing the news with his supportive wife Anna. Together, they decided to attend the shareholder meeting, leaving their daughter Sophia in the care of their governess Judith. Filled with excitement, Robert and Anna embarked on their journey, oblivious to the fact that it might be the last time they would see their daughter. The meeting went well, securing 40% of the cosmetics company's shares. Robert was elated, but joy turned to concern when he called home and received no answer. The once joyful atmosphere transformed into a cloud of worry. Robert and Anna couldn't fathom the ominous silence on the other end of the line. Little did they know their world was about to be shaken, and the tranquility of their beautiful mansion would soon be replaced by a storm of uncertainty and heartache. Frantic with worry, Robert and Anna desperately called their home, receiving only silence. The agonizing uncertainty shattered when a neighbor reached out with devastating news. Their house was engulfed in flames and Sophia, their daughter, was trapped inside. Paralyzed by shock, Robert struggled to convey the heartbreaking news to Anna. The couple rushed home, hearts heavy with worry and despair, fearing the worst as they imagined the fate that awaited their beloved daughter. Meanwhile, Mark, the homeless man, wandered through the streets, enduring the harsh realities of life. The day had been challenging, with nearly 2 days since his last meal. His spirit worn down, he faced humiliation and survived a near attack by a dog. Overwhelmed by the weight of his struggles, he felt on the brink of giving up. In a more affluent neighborhood, he noticed smoke billowing from a grand house. His curiosity led him to the scene, where he discovered the mansion ablaze. With thoughts consumed by his own struggles, Mark was drawn to the chaos unfolding before him. As Robert and Anna arrived, they found their home surrounded by emergency vehicles. Firefighters battled the blaze, cautioning against entering the unstable structure. Desperation filled the air as they pleaded for the rescue of their daughter Sophia. A gut-wrenching explosion echoed through the chaos. The shattered window heightened the tension, but amidst the chaos, a faint cry for help emerged. Help! Help! Devastated, Robert and Anna begged the firefighters to intervene. The firemen, citing dangerous conditions, reluctantly informed them. Unknown to all, Sophia had been fast asleep when assailants, likely sent by one of Robert's enemies, started the fire. Trapped in her room, the flames and smoke left her terrified. As the fire engulfed the mansion, the little girl cried for help. In a twist of fate, Mark threw caution to the wind and sprinted towards the burning mansion. Firefighters screamed, attempting to stop him, but he leaped over the flames, determined to rescue Sophia. Amid the chaos and destruction, he navigated through the debris, yelling for the little girl. Miraculously, Mark discovered Sophia in a corner of her room, scared and confused. He scooped her up in his arms and heroically carried her through the inferno. Before leaving, he found the governess, but sadly, it was too late. Against all odds, Mark emerged from the mansion, cradling Sophia in his arms, a beacon of hope amid the devastation. The once marginalized homeless man became an unlikely hero, defying the flames to save a little girl's life. Outside the burning mansion, euphoria mixed with apprehension. As debris fell and the structure crumbled, Robert and Anna's eyes widened with uncertainty. The atmosphere held a hushed anticipation until a collective shout erupted. "Oh my God!" Tears flowed freely as they witnessed the homeless man emerging from the fire, cradling Sophia. It was an unfathomable miracle, a beacon of hope against destruction. The little girl's parents rushed forward, embracing their daughter with overwhelming relief. Mark, the unlikely hero, observed the emotional reunion, touched by the scene, his own memories of family flooding back. As he turned to leave, Robert, overwhelmed with gratitude, called out, "Hey, wait." Attempting to reward Mark, Robert offered a substantial sum, but the homeless man humbly refused, stating, "I only did it because it was the right thing to do." Perplexed, Robert asked why Mark had risked his life. The destitute man replied, "I had nothing left to lose. But you have the most precious thing in this world, your family." Moved by Mark's sincerity, Robert insisted he ask for any reward. Mark, with a simple request, asked for a job, emphasizing his willingness to do anything. Briefly sharing his story, Mark's honesty left a lasting impression on Robert. Grateful for the rescue of his daughter, Robert appointed Mark as the head of the finance department in his company, offering him all the necessary training. Overwhelmed, Mark expressed his gratitude on his knees. Inspired by this transformative encounter, Robert established a non-profit organization to help individuals like Mark rebuild their lives. Now successful and empowered, Mark embarked on a journey to reunite with his family. When Jane, his estranged wife, learned of his newfound situation, she expressed a desire to reconcile. However, holding on to the scars of betrayal, Mark rejected her advances, choosing to maintain a connection only with his daughter Miller. Mark's story became a symbol of hope and courage, resonating with those facing challenges and seeking a new path in life. His resilience and determination to rise from homelessness to success became an inspiration, shining a light on the possibilities of redemption and transformation for those navigating life's hardships. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and this other story that may be appearing on the screen will most likely move you as well. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.